The music cut out mid-step. Alina froze. Her body knew the routine, every turn, every breath, but her mind was blank. She stood there under the dim amber light, chest rising sharply, staring into a room full of shadows that didn't move. Someone in the audience leaned forward. "Continue," a voice said calmly. Alina swallowed. I forgot." A quiet ripple passed through the room. Not laughter. Not shock. Something worse. Disappointment. The music resumed on its own. And somehow her body started moving again. 3 days earlier, Alina Voss sat on the cold floor of her apartment, staring at a final notice she had already read 10 times. Eviction. 72 hours. Her phone buzzed beside her. Unknown number. She ignored it. It buzzed again, then stopped. A knock came at the door. Slow. Deliberate. She frowned. Nobody visited her anymore. "Who is it?" she called. No answer. Another knock. She stood, hesitated, then opened the door. No one was there. Just a black envelope on the floor. Her name was written on it in clean, precise handwriting. Alina Voss. She picked it up slowly, her fingers tightening around the edges like it might disappear. Inside was a single card. No logo. No explanation. Just words. The Devil's Room. 1 night. 1 performance. Name your price. Her chest tightened. "This is a joke," she muttered, but her voice lacked conviction. At the bottom of the card, smaller text. No names. No questions. And beneath it, an address. That night, she stood across the street from the location. There was no sign. No lights. Just a tall, narrow building squeezed between 2 closed shops. "You're seriously considering this?" she whispered to herself. Her stomach twisted. But then she thought about the eviction notice. The unpaid bills. The silence of her apartment. The weight she carried every single day. "What's the worst that could happen?" she said under her breath. The words felt wrong the moment they left her mouth. Still, she crossed the street. Inside, the air was warmer than it should have been. Not humid. Not comfortable. Just heavy. A man stood behind a narrow desk, dressed in a perfectly tailored black suit. He didn't look up when she entered. "You're late," he said. Alina blinked. "Late? I wasn't given a time." "Everyone is given a time," he replied calmly, still not looking at her. "You simply don't remember." A strange chill ran down her spine. "I think you have the wrong person." Now he looked up. His eyes were steady. Too steady. "No," he said. "We don't make that mistake here." Silence stretched. Alina shifted her weight. "Look, I got this invitation, and I need money. That's it. If this is some kind of—" "It is," he interrupted. She frowned. "It is what?" "Exactly what you think it is." That didn't help. He slid a small tray toward her. "Your phone." She hesitated. "Why?" "No names. No questions." Her grip tightened around it. "What kind of place is this?" He didn't answer. He just waited. The silence pressed against her until it became unbearable. With a sharp exhale, she placed her phone on the tray. "Good," he said softly. "Now your name." "What about it?" "You won't need it inside." Alina let out a dry laugh. "That's not how names work." "Tonight," he said, "it is." Something in his tone made her stop arguing. "Fine." He nodded once, as if that settled everything. "Follow the hall. You'll be called when it's time." The hallway was longer than it should have been. Each step echoed slightly too loud. Doors lined the walls, all closed. As she walked, one of them opened slightly. A girl peeked out. "You're new," she whispered. Alina slowed. "Yeah." Do you work here?" The girl shook her head quickly. "No one works here." "Then what is this place?" The girl's eyes flicked down the hall, then back to Alina. "Don't stay too long," she said. The door shut. Alina stood there for a second, unsettled. "Great," she muttered. "That's comforting." At the end of the hall, another door opened. Music drifted out. Low, smooth, almost hypnotic. A voice echoed from inside. "You're next." The room was wrong, not in an obvious way. Everything looked elegant, soft lighting, Polished floors, velvet seating. But the people, they sat too still, too quiet. Their faces were hidden in shadow, but she could feel their attention. Focused. Intense. Waiting. Alina's heart pounded. Just dance, she whispered to herself. Do the job. Get paid. Leave. The music shifted, and she stepped forward. At first, everything was normal. Her body moved the way it always had. Controlled. Fluid. Familiar. Then, a flicker. Her foot hesitated. Just for a second. She frowned. What was that? She kept going. But something felt off. Like she had missed a step she couldn't quite remember. The music deepened. Her movement slowed. And then it hit her. Sharp. Sudden. Wait. Her breath caught. Where do I live? The thought came out of nowhere. Her chest tightened. Nothing. Her apartment. Her street. Gone. Her body kept moving. But her mind scrambled. That's not normal, she whispered under her breath. The audience didn't react. They just watched. Closer now. Leaning in. Hungry. The song ended. Silence. Alina stopped breathing hard. A soft clap echoed from somewhere in the dark. Then another. Then nothing. A figure near the front tilted their head slightly. Again, a voice said. Alina shook her head. I think there's been a mistake. I need to. Again. Her throat went dry. I don't feel right. A pause. Then, that's the point. The music started again. And despite every instinct screaming at her to leave, she moved. Backstage, she leaned against the wall, trying to steady her breathing. Something was wrong. Very wrong. She closed her eyes. Okay, think. Her address. Her neighbors. Anything. Nothing came. Just a blank space where something important used to be. Footsteps approached. She looked up. The man from the front desk. What did you do to me? She demanded. He studied her calmly. You performed. That's not an answer. It's the only one that matters. I forgot something, she said, her voice shaking now. Something real. He nodded slightly. Yes. Her stomach dropped. You're going to fix it. No. The word landed harder than she expected. Her jaw tightened. Excuse me? You're not losing anything, he said evenly. You're paying. Silence. Alina stared at him. For what? For what? She repeated, louder this time. The man didn't flinch. For what you asked us to take. I never asked you for anything, she snapped. He tilted his head slightly, studying her face, as if searching for something beneath it. You did, he said quietly. You simply don't remember yet. A cold wave rolled through her chest. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't need to, he replied. It only needs to continue. Alina pushed herself off the wall. No. I'm done. I'm leaving. She turned, walking quickly down the hall. Her pulse hammered in her ears. Every instinct screamed at her to get out. But as she reached the door, it didn't open. She pulled harder. Nothing. Open it, she said sharply, not turning around. No response. Her breath quickened. I said open it. Still nothing. Slowly, she turned back. The man hadn't moved. You can leave, he said calmly. Then why won't it open? Because you haven't finished. Her chest rose and fell rapidly. Finished what? The agreement. Her stomach twisted. I didn't sign anything. He stepped closer now, just enough for his presence to feel heavier. You signed everything. The words echoed in her head. Before she could respond, the music started again. Louder this time. Closer. Her body reacted before her mind could catch up. No, she whispered, stepping back. No, I'm not doing this again. But her legs didn't listen. They moved. Slowly. Pulled. Drawn back toward the room. Her breathing turned shallow. Stop, stop. But the moment she crossed the threshold, the feeling returned. That strange, unnatural calm. The audience waited. Still. Silent. Watching. Continue, the same voice said. Her body obeyed. The second performance felt different. Heavier. Each movement dragged something out of her. Not physical. Something deeper. She spun, and suddenly a memory flashed. A classroom. Laughter. A friend's face. Then,
Gone.
her breath hitched mid-step. Wait. Her hands trembled. What was her name? The thought slipped through her fingers like water. Panic surged. No, no, no. She tried to hold on to it, but it dissolved instantly, like it had never existed. The audience leaned forward again. Closer. Hungrier. The music swelled. Her movements slowed. Each step felt like pulling something loose inside her chest. And with every turn, another piece disappeared. A birthday. A favorite song. A voice she used to recognize instantly.
Gone.
Tears blurred her vision, but she couldn't stop. She couldn't even fall. Her body was still perfect, controlled, beautiful, like nothing was wrong. The song ended. This time, there was no applause. Just silence.
Thick.
Suffocating. Alina stood there, shaking. What are you? She whispered, her voice barely audible. A figure in the front row leaned forward. You're doing well, it said. The voice didn't sound human. It layered over itself like multiple tones speaking at once. Her stomach dropped. I want to leave, she said, louder now. No response. I said I want to leave. The figure tilted its head. You will. When? When there is nothing left to take. Her breath caught. What does that mean? The figure leaned back slowly. You'll understand. The lights dimmed. And just like that, it was over. Backstage again, Alina collapsed onto the floor. Her hands pressed against her temples. Think, just think. She tried to focus. Something important was missing. More than one thing. Pieces of her life were gone. I had a friend, she whispered. I know I did, but her name, her face, nothing. A hollow ache filled her chest. She wasn't just losing memories. She was losing feelings attached to them. The pain that should have come with forgetting wasn't there, and that terrified her more than anything. Footsteps approached again. She looked up sharply. You need to stop this, she said, her voice cracking. The man watched her, expression unchanged. You asked us not to. I would never ask for this. You did. Then show me, she snapped. Show me when. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, not yet. Her fists clenched. You're lying. No, he said calmly. You're remembering. I'm forgetting, she shouted. Yes, he replied softly. That's how it begins. Her breathing slowed slightly. Begins what? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he crouched slightly to meet her eye level. You came to us with a very specific request. Her throat tightened. What request? To be free. The word echoed in her head.
Free.
Free from what? I already am free, she said weakly. He shook his head.
No.
Something in his tone made her chest tighten again. What did I ask you to take? She whispered. He studied her carefully. Regret. The word hit harder than it should have. Regret. A flicker passed through her mind. A door slamming. A voice shouting. Her voice. Then, nothing. She gasped slightly. What was that?
A beginning, he said.
Her hands trembled. I need to remember. You don't, he replied. I do. No, he said, more firmly this time. You needed to forget. She stared at him, breathing uneven. What did I do? Silence. What did I do? She repeated louder. The man stood. When it's time, you'll know. That's not good enough. No, he said calmly. It's exactly enough. The music started again. Her heart dropped. No. She scrambled to her feet. I'm not going back out there. You don't have a choice. I always have a choice. He looked at her, really looked at her this time, and for the first time, there was something in his expression. Not emotion. Recognition. You used it already, he said. Her body froze. What? You made your choice a long time ago. The music grew louder. Her pulse matched its rhythm.
Fast.
Relentless. Her legs began to move again. No, please wait.
But the pull was stronger now.
More forceful, like gravity itself had shifted. She stumbled forward. I don't want this. Her voice echoed down the hallway. No one answered. The door opened. The room waited. And, once again, she stepped into the light. This time, the air felt colder, sharper. The audience sat closer than before. Too close. Their shapes more defined now. Still shadowed. But wrong. Limbs too still. Heads tilting at unnatural angles. Watching her like she was something being slowly unwrapped. The music began. Lower. Darker. She moved. But this time, she fought it. Each step felt like resistance. Like trying to hold on to something slipping away. "I won't forget," she whispered. "I won't." A flash hit her. Stronger than before. A street at night.
Rain.
Headlights. A voice screaming, "Alina, stop." Her breath caught. Her body faltered. What was that? Her chest tightened. Her heart pounded painfully now. That was real. She clung to it.
Desperately.
But even as she tried, it began to fade. No, please. Her voice broke. "Don't take that one." The audience leaned in closer. The music swelled. And the memory shattered.
Gone.
Her knees nearly buckled. But she didn't fall. She couldn't. Her body kept dancing.
Perfect.
Empty. Controlled. Tears streamed down her face. But she didn't even know why anymore. The song ended. And this time, the slow, deliberate clap echoed through the room.
1, 2,
3. Then silence. Alina stood there, shaking, her mind spinning in fragments. "What did I lose?" she whispered. No one answered. Because deep down, she already had. And whatever it was, it mattered enough that she had once begged to forget it. "What did I lose?" she whispered again, but this time the words felt thinner, like they didn't carry the same urgency. That scared her. Not the forgetting, but the fact that it was starting to feel easier. Backstage, she didn't collapse this time. She just stood there, breathing slowly, like her body was adjusting to something it shouldn't. Her hands were still shaking, but less. Her thoughts were still scattered, but quieter. "That's not right," she muttered. She pressed her fingers to her temple. I should be panicking. But she wasn't. And that terrified her more than anything that had happened so far. "You're adapting." The voice came from behind her. She turned. The man stood there again, exactly where he always seemed to be, watching, waiting. Her jaw tightened. "Make it stop." "You don't want it to." "I do." "No," he said calmly. "You want the pain to stop." She opened her mouth to argue, but stopped. Because something inside her hesitated.
Pain.
There was something about that word. Something heavy. Something she couldn't fully grasp anymore. "What pain?" she asked slowly. The man studied her for a long second. Then, without a word, he turned and walked down the hall. "Wait," she called, following him. "Don't walk away from me. What pain?" He stopped in front of a door she hadn't noticed before. It was slightly different from the others. Older. The handle worn. "You've been here before," he said. Her chest tightened. "No, I haven't." He didn't respond. He just opened the door. Inside was a small office. Dimly lit. A desk sat in the center. Papers stacked neatly. Nothing out of place. "Go on," he said. She hesitated. "This is where you came the first time." Her pulse spiked. "I don't remember that." "I know." Slowly, cautiously, she stepped inside. The air felt familiar. Not comfortable,
but known.
Like walking into a place she had once tried very hard to forget. Her eyes landed on the desk. There was a file.
Black. Clean.
Her name printed on the front. Alina Voss. Her breath caught. "No." She stepped closer. Her fingers hovered over it. "Don't open it," a small voice in her head whispered. But her hand moved anyway. She flipped it open. Inside. Documents. Pages. Signatures.
Dates.
Her eyes scanned quickly, until they stopped. Her signature.
Clear.
Undeniable. Her stomach dropped. No, this isn't real." She flipped through faster now. More signatures. More agreements. All hers. All dated 3 years ago. Her head began to spin. "I was never here." "You were," the man said quietly from the doorway. Her hands trembled. "Why would I do this?" "You tell me." Her eyes fell to a handwritten note clipped to the last page. Her handwriting, messier than usual, like it had been written under pressure. She read it out loud, her voice barely holding together. Take it away. I don't want to remember anymore. The room seemed to close in around her. No. Her breath quickened. No, I wouldn't. Another flash hit her. Stronger. Clearer. A living room. Broken glass on the floor. Her voice. Screaming. You shouldn't have been there. Silence. Then, a body.
Still.
Not moving. Her breath stopped. Her hands shook violently now. That's not. The memory flickered, threatening to disappear. No, don't take that one. She clutched her head. I need to see it. But it was already fading, blurring, breaking apart. Please. She dropped to her knees. Please just let me remember. The man didn't move. You asked us not to. I changed my mind, she cried. No, he said softly. You're just remembering why you made it. Tears streamed down her face. Her chest felt like it was collapsing inward. I hurt someone, she whispered. You did. Her hands curled into fists. Did I kill them? The silence answered before he did. Yes. The word hit like a physical blow. She gasped, her body recoiling. No. Her mind scrambled to piece it together, but everything was slipping away too fast. Who was it? She demanded, her voice breaking. Who did I? The memory flickered again. A face. Clothes. Familiar. Too familiar. Don't, she whispered, her eyes widening. But it vanished before she could hold it. No and oh. She slammed her hand against the floor. You're taking too much. You asked us to take everything connected to it, the man said evenly. Not this, she shouted. Not the truth. He stepped forward slowly. You didn't want the truth, he said. You wanted silence. Her breathing turned ragged. I can't live like this. You couldn't live like that either. The words cut deep. Too deep. Because even without the full memory, she felt it. The weight. The guilt. The unbearable pressure of something she had done. Something she couldn't face. I didn't mean to, she whispered. I know. That stopped her. She looked up at him, eyes wide. You know? He nodded once. It was an accident. Her chest tightened painfully. I didn't mean to. I know. The words echoed in her mind. An accident. But someone was still gone. Because of her. Then why would I forget them? She asked, her voice shaking. Why would I erase that? Because you couldn't carry it. Her vision blurred again. I should carry it. No, he said firmly. You tried. For 3 years. 3 years. Alina froze. 3 years, she repeated. That's how long you lived with it. Her stomach twisted. 3 years of guilt. 3 years of remembering. 3 years of breaking. And then I came here, she whispered. Yes. And I asked you to take it away. Yes. Her shoulders slumped. A hollow feeling spread through her chest. I was weak.
No, he said.
You were human. That didn't make it better. It made it worse. Because it meant she had chosen this. Chosen to forget. Chosen to erase the one thing that should never be erased. The truth. Her truth. I don't want this anymore, she said quietly. The man didn't respond. She looked up at him, desperate now. Give it back. Silence. Give it back, she shouted, standing abruptly. I can't. Why not? Because there's nothing left to give. Her breath caught. What does that mean? He held her gaze. It means you've already given most of it away. Her stomach dropped. How much is left? A pause. Then, very little. The words landed heavy. Too heavy. She staggered back slightly. No, I can still feel it. I still feel something. Yes, he said softly. But not for long. Her hands trembled again. I don't want to forget them. You will. Tears spilled over again. I deserve to remember. You did. That broke something inside her. She let out a choked sob. Please. The man watched her quietly. No sympathy. No cruelty. Just certainty. Finish what you started, he said. The music began again. Her heart sank. No, not again. You're almost done. I don't want to be done. Her voice echoed through the room. But the pull had already started. Stronger than before. Final. She stumbled backward toward the door. No, wait. Just give me more time. There is no more time. I can change my mind. You already did, he said. 3 years ago. Her body froze. The truth hit her all at once. This wasn't happening to her. It was happening because of her. Every step, every loss, every empty space forming inside her mind. She had chosen it. The music grew louder. The hallway stretched before her. And, once again, her body began to move. But this time, she didn't fight it. Because, deep down, she knew there was nothing left to hold on to that wouldn't break her again. The room welcomed her back like it had been waiting. The audience sat closer than ever now. Their shapes clearer. Still wrong. Still not human. But she didn't react the same way anymore. She didn't feel fear. Or not as much. Just distance. The music started.
Soft.
Slow. Almost gentle. And she moved. No hesitation this time. No resistance. Just motion. Each step felt lighter. Each turn quieter. Like something inside her was finally settling. Fading. A flicker passed through her mind. A voice. Calling her name.
Warm.
Familiar. She paused slightly. Who was that? The question came out softer this time. Weaker. And then…
Gone.
She didn't chase it. She couldn't. Because it no longer felt important enough to fight for. The audience leaned forward one last time. Watching. Waiting. As the final pieces slipped away. And, with each movement, she became calmer. Lighter. Emptier. Closer to finishing what she had started. And further away from ever knowing why. The music slowed until it was barely there. Alina moved through the final steps like a shadow of herself. Precise. Effortless. Detached. There was no hesitation now. No confusion. No resistance. Only motion. The room felt quieter than before, like even the audience was holding its breath, watching the last moments unfold. A faint thought surfaced in her mind.
Soft. Distant.
This is the last one. She didn't question how she knew. She just did. Her foot turned. Her hand lifted. Her body followed the rhythm like it had done 100 times before. And with each movement, something else slipped away. A laugh. A face. A feeling.
Gone.
No struggle. No pain. Just absence. Her chest rose slowly.
Calm. Too calm.
Another flicker. A voice.
Closer this time.
Alina. She paused mid-step. The name echoed in her head. Alina. It sounded familiar. But it didn't feel like hers. Who's that? She whispered. No one answered. The music continued. And her body resumed. Because, whatever that name meant, it no longer mattered enough to hold on to. The audience leaned forward one final time. Their shapes clearer now. Not human. Never human. Their presence pressed against the room like something ancient and patient. Something that had seen this happen before. Many times. And would see it again. Alina turned slowly. Her final movement. Her final step. And in that moment, one last memory surfaced. Stronger than the rest. A face. Right in front of her. Smiling.
Alive.
Then,
fear.
A sudden argument. Her own voice. Sharp. Breaking. You shouldn't have been there. A loud sound.
Glass.
Impact. Silence. Her breath caught. Her heart pounded once.
Hard.
Pain surged through her chest.
Deep.
Overwhelming.
Real.
For a single second, she remembered everything. The accident. The fall. The body that didn't move. The name she had screamed afterward. The name that shattered her every day for 3 years. The name she had begged to forget. Tears filled her eyes instantly. No, she whispered.
Her body faltered.
For the first time, it almost stopped. I didn't mean to. Her voice broke under the weight of it. I didn't. The memory trembled. On the edge of disappearing again. Her hands shook. Part of her wanted to hold it. To keep it. To carry it like she should have. But another part. A deeper part. knew exactly what that pain would do to her. It had already done it once. 3 years of guilt. 3 years of breaking. 3 years of living with something she couldn't undo. Her breath hitched. I can't. The words came out weak. I can't go back to that.
The truth settled in.
Heavy. Final. This wasn't something being taken from her. It was something she had chosen to let go. And now,
She had to choose again.
the music softened. Waiting. The room stilled. Even the audience didn't move. Everything paused. For her. For this moment. For this decision. Tears rolled down her face. I'm sorry, she whispered. She didn't know who she was apologizing to anymore. But she meant it. She truly did. I'm so sorry. The memory pulsed in her mind. Strong. Painful.
Real.
And slowly, her grip on it loosened. Her shoulders dropped. Her breathing steadied. I can't carry you anymore, she said softly. The words felt like a goodbye. A surrender.
A release.
And just like that, the memory faded. Not violently. Not suddenly.
But gently.
Like it was finally being allowed to rest. Her chest lifted. And then, it was gone. Completely. No pain. No guilt. No trace. Only silence. The music ended. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, a single, slow clap echoed through the room, followed by another, and another, until the sound filled the space. Not loud, not celebratory, but satisfied. The audience leaned back, their attention shifting away. Finished. Alina stood there, breathing evenly, her face calm, her eyes empty. She didn't question anything. She didn't feel anything was missing, because there was nothing left inside her that told her something should be. The man stepped forward from the shadows. You've completed your agreement, he said. She looked at him. No fear. No anger. Just quiet curiosity. Agreement, she asked. He studied her for a second, then nodded slightly. Yes. She blinked once. The word didn't mean much to her, but she accepted it. Am I done? She asked. Yes. A small pause. Can I leave? You always could. She didn't question that either. She simply turned and walked toward the exit.
The door opened this time.
Easily, like it had never been locked at all. Cool air brushed against her skin as she stepped outside. The night was quiet.
Still.
Normal. She stood there for a moment, taking it in. The world felt lighter. Simpler. There was no weight pressing against her chest. No thoughts pulling her down. Just a calm, empty peace. She took a step forward. Then another. Blending back into a life she no longer remembered. Alina. The voice came from behind her. Sharp. Urgent. She paused. Slowly turned. A man stood a few feet away, breathing heavily, like he had run to catch up. Relief flooded his face when he saw her. Alina, I've been calling you. Where have you been? She stared at him.
Blank.
He stepped closer. It's me.
His voice softened.
You don't recognize me? She tilted her head slightly, studying his face.
Searching for something.
Anything. But there was nothing there. No connection. No memory. No feeling. Should I? She asked quietly. The question hit him hard. She could see it in the way his expression changed. Confusion.
Fear.
Then something deeper. Something breaking. Alina, what are you talking about? She didn't answer immediately, because she didn't know what to say. There was nothing in her mind that told her who he was, or why he mattered, or if he mattered at all. I think you have the wrong person, she said simply. The words felt natural. True. He shook his head quickly. No, that's not possible, you're...
He stopped.
His eyes searched her face desperately, looking for something that wasn't there anymore. You're Alina, he said again, weaker this time. She frowned slightly. The name again. Alina. It sounded familiar, but distant, like something she had once known but no longer needed. She shook her head. I don't think that's my name. Silence fell between them. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Final. The man stepped back slowly, like he had just realized something he didn't want to accept. This isn't right, he whispered. She watched him. Not cold. Not cruel, just disconnected. I'm sorry, she said softly. And for a second, there was almost something in her tone. Something human. But it passed quickly. Because there was nothing left inside her to hold on to it. She turned and walked away. The man stood there, frozen, watching her disappear into the night. His chest tightened painfully. Alina, he whispered again. But she didn't stop. She didn't turn. Because the name meant nothing anymore. Back inside the building, the man in the black suit stood by the window, watching, as he always did. Another file rested on the desk behind him.
Closed. Complete.
He didn't move for a long time. Then, finally, he reached for it, opened it, and flipped to the last page. The handwritten note was still there, faded slightly, but clear. Take it away. I don't want to remember anymore. He closed the file, set it aside, and, without hesitation, reached for the next one. If this story kept you thinking, you already felt what she lost. Hit like if it pulled you in, and tell me in the comments, would you make the same choice if you were her? And if you want more stories that stay with you long after they end,
Subscribe.
because some stories don't just end. They follow you.